Right, meringue at Christmas. I love it. Again, once you have it made, you can have them stored, dried, and they'll last you that sort of pre-Christmas, Christmas Day, right through to the new year. But the secret to a meringue is the eggs. So I'm using free range eggs, and I'm also just using the egg whites naturally for the meringue, but keeping them at room temperature is key. So leave your eggs out overnight, or when you have them separated, just make sure you keep those egg whites at room temperature for a while. And what I'm going to do or ask you to do is just put a little pinch of sugar in there, the caster sugar at the start. It stops the egg whites from overbeating. And now we're just going to work on that until it's nice and light. Okay, so you can see the volume in that immediately. And once it holds like that, you should be happy enough that that is it at this stage. So every meringue starts off like this. Now we're going to be loading this one up with lovely fruit flavours later on. But the secret now is putting the sugar in. And really all I'm going to ask you to do is please just put in 1 tablespoon at a time and allow sort of 4 or 5 seconds of mixing in between each stage. So that's the last of the sugar in. Look at how stiff that meringue is. I mean, that will not fall off. That is just perfect. And the nice high shine from it. And lovely and clean. The bowl needs to be clean and grease free. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sieve in some icing sugar. And that is key, that you make sure you sieve that, because it completely lightens it up totally. So just work at that for a few seconds just to sieve it in. Okay, so that is the last of the icing sugar. So I'm going to get rid of these beaters now as well. Pop those out and be careful not to bang the side. You just want to take what's on there off like that, because you don't want to knock the air out of this now. So the icing sugar is about folding it in really gently, round up through the middle. And I'm happy enough with that, and that's lovely and shiny still and nice and light. So at this stage you can add some vanilla. Only if you wish, a small drop of just vanilla. I think that's almost enough there. But for me this time I'm going to add a little bit of mango sort of syrup or puree to this as well. If you want, you can add some raspberry instead of the mango, or even passion fruit, but I'm going to be decorating it with a bit of passion fruit later on, and not too much, so it's just there as a nice balance of flavour. Some people will add toffee at this stage as well, and I want it almost marbled through as a flavour. There we go, and now that is ready to go into a piping bag, or if you wish you can spoon that directly onto your tray, but I'm going to pipe them. So I have a piping bag with a star nozzle on the bottom of it. Now the best way to fill a piping bag is just kind of roll it around your hand like that, and to lift the mix up and just let it fall in, and then you're using your other hand to kind of climb the bag up so that you're not squeezing the living daylights out of that mix. And we'll do it in 2 stages. So that's the first stage done. Okay, so we'll move the bowl there. Now you want a flat tray lined with parchment paper, and just close your lid in. So if it doesn't fall out the bottom, it's also a sign of a good meringue, that it's nice and stiff. And then get yourself positioned very comfortably and start with a base and just go out around straight. Isn't that lovely? And just fade away like that. Okay, so don't they look quite pretty at this stage? But they got us set, so it's 110 degrees, and we'll leave them in there until I feel that I want a kind of semi-dry marshmallowy feel to them. Okay, so they look lovely, and they have just basically, I hope, set. Yeah, they do. Look, they'll lift off now. So just let them cool, and then we'll just slip them off the paper. But in the meantime, I am going to whip up some fresh cream. I'm going to show you how to decorate them with just some fresh passion fruit. And I also have some raspberries and some blueberries here. And I'm going to add a little bit of a passion fruit liqueur just into that. And it's just going to sort of let them soak in that only for a few minutes. And I'll get on with whipping the cream while those meringues cool. Okay, so we're just going to get a nice amount of fresh cream. Just in this. Okay, so the fruits that we have put into the alcohol, I'm just going to arrange them on, just one raspberry that's been soaked in there is more than enough. And just a couple of the beautiful soaked blueberries. And now for our passion fruit. So these are easy got, by the way, and they're great in drinks as well as what we're doing here. And we want some of these seeds just on each one of these. Look at that. The flavour of these is just beautiful. And I'm going to dust these just a little bit of snow or icing sugar, pretend snow. Look at that. And with the cold cream, marshmallowy meringue, I think if you had that at the centre of your table, I think you'd be happy enough to impress your guests with just a beautiful simple meringue with some fruits. Remember, we've mango in through the meringue. We have passion fruit, which is fresh passion fruit, and some macerated soaked fruits in there with a little bit of booze, so there's plenty of flavour. Enjoy that and hopefully you'll master that. I know you will.